meeting of October 10th, 2024. With us this evening is Councilman and Pastor Robbie Brown from Big Hope Church to do our invocation. If you would stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to follow.
Let's pray. God, we thank you for your presence, and we thank you for this beautiful day you've blessed us with. God, we thank you for this time that we can gather together to make decisions for this great city you've allowed us to be a part of, allowed us to live in. So, God, we just pray for your leading as we make decisions here tonight. God, we pray for your blessing for our city and for each and every person that lives within it. And God, we just pray for your presence to dwell in everything that we do, whether it's business, whether it's leisure. God, that we would lean into your presence and that you would remind us in all times that the things that unite us as a people in the city are greater than anything that may divide us. So God, we give you thanks in your name.
Amen. Thank you. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Cleary. Haney.
Here.
Harvey.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Terry.
Here.
As you all are aware from the last meeting, Mr. Cleary was dealing with some health issues. I'm happy to report he is home and recovering and doing a lot better, and sent scrapers for us because it's supposed, one, it's a shameless self-promotion, but two, it's supposed to frost this weekend apparently. Next is the approval of minutes for our regular council meeting minutes of September 26, 2024. Are there any errors, omissions, additions to those meeting minutes? Hearing none, those meeting minutes will stand as approved. Next is audience participation. We have a invited guest this evening, Marty Conley and Dr. Bill Dingus for our Economic Development Quarterly Update, and then we'll move into the regular audience participation.
Thank you, Council. Those who don't know Marty Conley, I'm the Lawrence County Convention and Visitors Bureau Director. If you haven't heard, I guess you may have seen that the bridge is now open this afternoon. Early this afternoon, we got word on that, which is great. I did have some contact with some of our local businesses, restaurants, through this time where they have been down, and some had actually cut staff a little bit through this. So thankfully, the bridge is now open and ahead of schedule. So kind of when I wanted to put this together was really just to let council know what's been going on in the tourism world and connecting that kind of like the bridge. So that was the theme that I wanted to go with here. But a couple years ago, we were awarded what's called an RERC assistance program. Some of you participated in that RERC program. That was Recreation for Rural Economies. We were chosen 25 out of 25 in the nation. We were chosen for this opportunity. Basically what it was is we teamed up with federal partners. We had 18 federal partners, anyone from the EPA to USDA, forest folks were all here, and they got to hear some of our concerns with some of the assets that we have and how can we make those into economic impacts through recreation. One of the things that we did do is, if you were there that particular day, we loaded a bus and we went all up and down the riverfronts all along the city and throughout the county. And what I'm getting at with that is if you look at it here just recently when we were awarded through Ohio's Wonderful Waterways Project, the $12 million that we were awarded, a lot of those were waterfront projects. So I'm glad to see that those projects are coming, and hopefully when these get done here in the next couple of years, you'll see definitely economic impact with that. So that was one of the projects that we were putting on. Another one, and I've got some literature here that I'll give to you guys once this is over, but wanted to bring everyone up to par on what's called the Appalachian Freedom Heritage Tourism Initiative. If you have not heard of this, 2 years ago we were awarded an ARC grant through tourism for $1.5 million. And the project here is, we have found through, I've actually found this through COVID and was going through historical tourism. We have one Underground Railroad site marked from Adams County all the way along the river to north of Gallia, one site, and that's the Burlington Macedonian Church. We all are from the area, we all know the history, we know that history is here, and we need to preserve that history. So this grant combined the tri-state area and 9 counties in those tri-states to mark 27 sites that's actually going to be the next year now because we're into it. We've been working hard. We've teamed with Marshall University, Shawnee State University, and Ohio University Southern. They're doing the validity. They're doing the research. It has to be approved by the National Park Service through an application process. The team has found 50 sites thus far. We can only do 27, so hopefully we'll move to phase 2. But what this is going to do is this is going to mark these sites with a prestigious trail, which also preserves the history, which also hope to have an economic impact when folks come back. They can tour a city, they can tour a state, or they can tour the whole thing. There is a technological aspect with this too. Folks can use a QR code on each one of the sites that they go and visit, and it's going to bring on a website videos, content, interviews, things of that particular site. So a school in California, let's say, can learn about Southern Ohio or the Underground Railroad through technology. Plus, it's going to get us up there. 2 weeks ago, I attended a meeting at the Ohio History Center for the Underground Railroad gathering from the state. They capped it at 130 people. They had 6 breakout sessions. 2 of those were on Lawrence County. So we are getting that pushed. Although the state come out with Ohio's Underground Railroad Trail, we're not on it, but they're talking about us. So we will be on that when this comes about. So if you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you about that, but the Camel House, the museum, the iron furnaces, these are all part of this project. Another thing that I wanted to bring up too is I'm really knocking on the door at the state level to try to get some notoriety down here. We all know that we've looked, and on the state level, we don't see a lot of this, the southern part of the state, and it's really irritating, right, from a tourism aspect of it. Councilman Brown, you probably just realized you were on the Ohio Ice Cream Trail. That was something that we submitted to do for that too as well. So we've got that on there. You know, it's these little things like this, but also fall and winter events. We have just recently submitted through Tourism Ohio, where they are printed up in an events magazine. So we do get some notoriety for that. We're actually listed on some of the 100 things to do in the state of Ohio. So we're getting that notoriety as well too. So just want to bring those up to par. Real quick, we're in preparation for Ohio 250 coming up here pretty soon. That's going to be a big deal. So we'll make sure that but we are working on some things with that, with the group. I encourage you guys I'll leave these here. Visit our website, visit lawrenceohio.com. We do have an events calendar, not only for things happening here, but in the tri-state area as well. We stay up to par with that. These are things that we found. I'm hoping more people will reach out to us, but we try to keep that up to par. So if someone's wanting to know what's going on, what's an event to do, we can. Airbnbs was another thing I wanted to talk about. We are working with those. I don't know if you guys have talked about these in the past, but we have seen an increase in Airbnbs, and we want to work with those folks. We're looking at having some trainings for those, bringing everyone together to be on the same page with that. So that's something we're looking at in the future. And lastly, we are working with the Tri-State Committee on a regional marketing plan with folks in West Virginia and Kentucky to showcase the region as a whole as well. So those are some of the things that we have.
Mr. Perry.
Hi, Marty. Thanks for that update.
Sure.
I've had a handful of businesses here in town ask me if there's any plan for, I don't know if something has to go through ODOT, something that you folks can steer, but the blue freeway signs that
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
specifically depict businesses here in town turn this way to go to XYZ.
Absolutely.
And the other ask was historical monuments too.
Yes.
Same person talking to me.
I think I'm talking the same person as well. So, there is a process with that. We have called, we've contacted. It's actually through a third party that they'll send you to. It's based on, you have to prove how many people visited the establishment, things of that nature. There's a lengthy process to that, honestly, where I think that there already would be some up there.
Can we count attendance to Times Memorial Stadium?
That was actually one that was talked about. Even with the
We'll
historical,
meet that requirement.
Just like that.
even with the historical registry marker, you know, those type of things too. We would like to do that, but it is challenging, and it is something that I have noticed. I think we've got one blue tourist attraction sign in the county that I'm aware of, and that's Hatcher's Greenhouse, and they pay an annual fee for that. So.
The last thing, I
Sure.
want to thank you and Dr. Dingus for your help with regards to the historical sites for the Underground Railroad.
Sure.
That's been involved in this with Quinn Chapel.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
fantastic. The group that we're working on, we're we're excited about that. So
Yeah,
thank you for that.
and that's another site that's talked about in this process too, is being marked. So it's really exciting, and the research team that's put this together, I've been able to hear some of the stories, and it's very neat to hear some of the stories, the history. So,
Thank you.
any questions on anything that's going on? Please feel free to reach out. I would like to give these to you guys, kind of leave them here, and that way you guys can have those. But feel free to reach out to me at any time.
Dr. Bendis, he's sneaking up behind you.
Let me tell you, Marty, it's getting us on the map. I mean, that is the key to this. A lot of this thing is the fact that we've just not, whether it's the ice cream trail or the Underground Railroad, and I mean, we've got many things. We all know about them, but we've just never been able to, one person focusing on getting us on the state's map. And Marty's doing a great job, I think. So that's working well. So. But in economic development, and tourism is definitely part of economic development. It's whole idea of economic development is bringing dollars from other parts of the nation, of the world, to our community, and so it is a strong part. But in addition to that, we've got a number of other projects, and I'd like to just kind of make a quick run, because in our area, whether the job is actually created in Ironton or in the area, it's 6 1/2 dozen the other every morning when I get into traffic. When the Russell Bridge is closed, I can see how many of our people are backed up trying to get to work in Kentucky, and how many people in Kentucky are trying to get to work over here. We say 70%, 75% of our people work outside of Lawrence County, and 60-65% of the people that work in Lawrence County sleep outside of Lawrence County. So it's an interesting mix, but for our benefit, just to give you a quick rundown of things that are happening in the area. We've CapChem, it is a new company, makes electrolyte for the batteries. That one, they have officially purchased their land. They're moving forward. They'll be having a big, I think in November, they want to have a big open house and big public hearing to share everything with process and dates and times. But that's probably going to end up being over $100 million investment down at the Dow, former Dow property, and probably be 75 jobs or more. Then we Harvest Grow. If you remember Harvest Grow, the marijuana growth machine that was going to create 50+ jobs and ended up creating 6. It had been bought by the nation's largest marijuana growing company, and they are adding on to the facility. They're putting things in writing. They really will have 50 to 60 jobs there for manufacturing and production there. So that is really coming, and they're moving forward. As you come on up the river here in Ironton, we've got one major company looking at a major expansion, and everyone wants to hold off till after elections. So a lot of these things, it's a crazy time that people are just not wanting to make big commitments until they have different comfort level. The reality is, it doesn't matter what happens. They'll make that commitment then, but it just, and it doesn't, in my life, I've learned that it doesn't make a whole lot of difference who gets elected. Life will go on, and progress will go on, and we'll all be fine. But that is holding up a lot of things. LEDC, one of the things that we had run into was a closed factory over in Portland. We ran over and picked it up about a year or so ago, and we have since sold it to a company that's going to make different kind of lubricants and so on, and they have committed to hire a large portion of your jobs from Ohio. So I think we'll be the benefactor of that. We keep pushing on the old AK Steel property, trying to get something major there. We feel that for our community, it's very, very important. In the city itself, we've been working on things like we have applied for a industrial park loan program to go ahead and build a 40,000 square foot facility, which I shared with you up at the former Ironton Iron property. So that is in progress. LEDC and the CEO partnered together and hired a consultant to look at the hills, particularly in behind the hospital, to see if we could come up with some decent housing land there and can be developed feasibly. And the consultant come out and said, "You wasted your $10,000. This won't work. The hills are too high and the valleys are too deep." And so we are looking for other alternatives for that, maybe possibly in behind Indian Hills or something. So there's a lot going on there. Ralph keeps you up to date pretty well on the Ronay and riverfront, the good things planned for there and the money coming for that, and out through the whole sports park area. So that there's a lot of action, a lot of motion, in river development that is continuing to come. As you move on east, we have the Intermountain Electronics. You all periodically put up these 110-foot containers coming rolling through your town, and your teams help them to come through and get to them back to 64. State of West Virginia won't let them cross the 17th Street Bridge. So it's a crazy world. So they come down and cross the Ironton Russell Bridge. So we appreciate your partnership with them. The state did put a crossover so that they will be able to bring those containers to the down ramp and come up and make the turns without a lot of a problem. But overall, things are moving very well. There's a couple of other projects dealing with real estate. If there's a chance sometime I can talk to you privately, I would really appreciate that opportunity. That really just can't be released to the public. We'd love to talk with you about. But overall, things are moving, and it's just I feel good about what's happening. We get lots of leads, lots of hits, and I think we have no empty space right now in the county. I mean, that's hard to believe, but as far as manufacturing and storage space, we're pretty well out of it. I've got a couple of empty buildings at South Point, but I don't have anything here in Ironton that really is ready to go. We've got a couple buildings that need money put into them, and LADC's been talking about trying to possibly even look at those or some other property to develop and get it ready to move. So be glad to answer any questions. And Mr. Chair, if there is a chance sometime.
I feel like you better be ready for a Dairy Queen question.
Sure. Okay. Well, and I appreciate it. Let me tell you. Let me see if Corby.
Did I beat you? Does that? He gets harassed every day at his house.
Oh, I'm sure you do. And Corby didn't respond to me. I love the blizzards. I mean, I've been waiting like you all have. And every time I talk to Corby Leach, who's building it, he assures me that it's all done and ready to go. And he worked through the architects and had all kinds of issues, his architects and the Dairy Queen approval group. But he assured me when we spoke about a month ago that it was, that it was all worked out now and they were ready to go. And I thought I would get a text back from him giving me a start date so I could tell you, but I don't get it. I can tell you, you aren't nearly as hard as Gator is. Gator, when I go over to Rotary, he beats up on me every month. So that is one I too, we're all pushing hard on that.
I didn't mean to speak for you, Chris.
I thought about going over there and just shoveling the hole like it's just a little pile. It's like, look, they're starting.
I even called Corby and said, Corby, you've got that lot and you've got all the lots across the street all tied up. Would you be interested in letting me market those to someone else? Right. Oh, no. I'm committed. So I want it.
100% moving forward with Dairy Queen, correct? Okay.
It's got to
relay that.
I promise. In fact, I'll tell you what. When they open, I'll meet y'all there and buy you a blizzard.
Oh, sounds good. I'll take you up.
Deal.
And you got probably a 9-year-old that's probably going to be with you too.
We'll have to call a special council meeting to do it so we don't violate sunshine laws. But we won't be there.
Sounds good. But if there is a chance to talk to y'all privately, I'd love to get that privilege. It wouldn't take long, but I've got a couple of issues I'd like to share.
We do that. Do you want to stick around?
I'll stick around. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we are in audience participation. If you'd like to address Ironton City Council, step to the podium, state your name and address, and you'll have 5 minutes to do so.
Okay. Jim Ridgway, 1744 Kevin Street, Ironton. And what I want to mention is the streets, 1600 blocks, 1700 blocks of Thomas Street, Cliff Street. I do not live on the streets, but I have to travel the streets to get on. They're going to pave those, and they're putting in new storm drains. The storm drains are set on McPherson Street. They're 18 feet apart. And there's no way two cars can pass in that street no matter what you try to do. You can get a car and a golf cart through there going opposite directions, but you'll never get two cars through there. And when you put the curbs in, you're going to have 6-inch curbs, and there's no place for anybody to get over. Unless I try to pull in somebody's driveway. I mean, there's going to be wrecks there. The school buses run there. Those roads have to be put back in the way they were as far as widths. And they're going to take Cliff Street from 21 feet to 18. I watched them measure it out today. So we're shrinking roads, and we're asking school buses and delivery buses to run on roads which are basically alleys. And there's too many people living down here. And I know, I don't care if you guys drag this out another 2 years on this project. It's got to be put back around. I'm trying to save you money on the upfront. You guys don't need a car wreck down there and a lawsuit to suddenly say, we need larger roads. And they have to dig it all up again. I'm trying to save you on the upfront. I'm not trying to be like Mr. Mean, but if I don't think I can drive on it, all the senior citizens down there, there's just no way they can drive on it. And, I think minimum, you got to at least go about 22 feet on Thomas Street. It's a block and a half. It's really not 2 full blocks. And it's right next to the school, and the school traffic's in the morning. It's like I-64 through there. Just go look. Nobody rides a school bus anymore. They did in my day. Might have in Craig's day, but they don't ride a school bus anymore. Their mommies and daddies take every kid to school today. I don't even know why we run buses, but you have to, I think, up through 7th grade in high law. And, I talked to the contractors, and they said they'll do whatever the city's willing for us to do. So, I don't care if we have to dig 3 more feet of pavement up to have a road that we can actually use versus something that's going to turn into just a disaster down there. I'm willing to wait for it. If it takes another year for you guys to find the funds, I understand that. I understand cost overruns. I understand how the extent of this project's be tremendous. Nobody's ever tried something like this. But we need to do it right. And I'm patient. I think most of the people down there are patient. But, when they see that they got a road they can't drive on when they're done, and they're going to cry. Most of them don't know it. I've told a couple, but most do not know it. And when they see that, they're just going to go like, you're going to have people playing chicken on that road. No place to pull over. People giving people the finger, wanting to get out of the car and fight, ordering you to back up. The police are going to be down there every day. And the fire truck, I don't think, can get through there and turn the corners without breaking the curbs. So, it's just something we need to think about. I don't know what the plan is, but you guys got to get one. They're down there spending money and working at, and most of the stuff now is fixable, at pretty low cost. On Thomas Street, they've already got it basically, all we have to do is buy the asphalt, shove the drains back a couple feet, and or we can just leave out the curbs, and that way I can get over. That would always be a nice solution. Curbs is usually something people get property assessments for. And, the city's throwing them in for nothing. So, my thought would be just take the curbs and shove the curbs and take the drains and push them back a couple feet and pave the roads and call it a day. And I think people down there would be happy. So, I think we really should maybe ask the people what they want. I don't think that was actually done. I know the city's trying to do something positive for them, but, you got to live down there to understand our circumstances. And if you don't live down there, haven't seen it, drive down McPherson, take a left onto 1600 block of Thomas Street, and tell me if you can turn the corner there where there's 2 storm drains or where the car's sitting there. It's not possible. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Jim. And, do you have an answer on the roof?
I actually heard this today, same thing, from a resident of Thomas Street. I'm not sure that it's not going to be back to the original widths.
Yeah, it's all I'm asking.
I think it's looking like that right now, the way the road is laid
they've
out.
already thrown 2 in, but I thought they made a mistake.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up to start with. Mrs. Carter, I emailed her, and I thought they just made a mistake.
Yeah, I don't know that it's close to even being done, that area. They just started down.
Yeah, I just don't want you guys to build something that you guys are like, gee, we got to start over down there. Yeah,
So we've had like 4 months of people coming.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Some of these people aren't real patient. I'm patient. Unless I think I'm getting something halfway decent, I'm patient.
It's not that. It's just that like we funded it, and so now the carry out, the engineers. You already talked to to Arcadis, it sounds like.
Yes,
Or to,
yeah, they were supposed to.
Howard.
Stevens came down and talked.
And so the mayor will be dealing with that issue, but
Yeah.
this is a public forum, so that you could pass that along, but we're just
Yeah.
kind of the middleman, so.
I know it, but I it's going to involve the city once somebody,
Yep.
has a wreck down there. I mean, that's your guys' money to, when you start, getting lawsuit issues. I mean, because it's going to happen. I just don't see, and the kids aren't getting sidewalks. And guess where they have always walked historically to come home from school from the schools down there in the Green Valley, right down the middle of Thomas Street. And you're going to narrow that street so the kids are going to be right in the middle of the road that two cars can't drive on. It's got a double-edged sword to it all the way around, and from a safety issue to actually a usability issue. So that's what I was trying to bring forward tonight.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Just make sure you say your name and address for the record for her.
Okay. My name is Carol Carter. Carter.
What area of town do you live in, Miss Carter?
I live here in Ironton.
I know, like whereabouts?
1735 Cabin Street.
All right. Good.
Okay, the reason I'm here, I have been here, lived in Ironton since all my life. And I've noticed in other areas, but in our area, there's a lot of homeless people now. We can see them everywhere. And it's been a concern for me that I wondered, I know we have the city mission, but I've often wondered why there's never been anything for the homeless here in Ironton. I know that I've worked in different areas in the community. And when I worked, they would say, we'd have people that were homeless, and they would say, well, we'd send them here. And then they'd come back and they would say, well, you know, Miss Carter, that I went there, but they asked me if I had an address. If you're homeless, you don't have an address. And if you don't have an address, they can't do anything. They can't help you. And I just wondered why, with all the empty buildings that we have here in this town, why nothing had been done for our homeless. And I know people say, well, we don't have homeless. But yeah, we do have homeless. At one time, in the wintertime, they used to stay up there they'd go into the library, would let them go in the winter so they could stay warm. But I just wondered, why is it, we do a lot here in Ironton, but why is it we haven't done anything for our homeless people?
Well, I can't give you a comprehensive answer to that. It's a complex issue that has a lot of complex answers. But I can tell you that the city mission, who isn't associated with the city of Ironton, does do their best to accommodate a lot of our homeless. And I know from being on the Little League board, Miss Carter, that when I'd go down there at night to the Little League, there'd be some homeless folks that would constantly camp at the Little League, and they would tell me that, and I'm just talking about one specific set. Okay, they would tell me that they have a curfew at the city mission, and they didn't want a curfew, so they would rather sleep outside on our picnic tables or in our dugouts, etc. And so, for some, I think it's a choice. I don't want to go by the rules, so I choose to stay outside.
Mm-hmm.
For others, I think there are mental health issues and substance abuse issues. So I think this is a much more involved conversation than just a one specific solution. What can we do about it? Now, if we start seeing a pattern over and over again with our police, our mayor saying, we're seeing this and we can be part of the solution, then I don't think there's a single person on this council that didn't run because they want to see Ironton be the best place for everyone here. including the people that are unhoused. And so, if there is a solution that we can handle it, I'll be the first to sponsor something to do something about it. But I think we rely on what we're hearing from the folks like at the city mission, our police, and oftentimes our department heads that deal with those folks on a day-to-day basis and what their unique needs are and the reason that they're unhoused. So I don't think I can give you one answer tonight, but I can tell you if there was one answer, I'd sure be happy to be part of the solution.
Okay, I just feel like, seem like we need to do something for our homeless.
I don't disagree with you. Nate has a question.
Oh, I don't have a question. I just want to say also, Mr. Carter, kind of we rely on nonprofits and other agencies also to kind of assist with that issue. I know the Department of Job and Family Services issues housing vouchers. The CAO, they issue housing vouchers. They have emergency housing vouchers for those that are homeless. I don't think they need an address where they get a voucher and try to get them housed.
Sure?
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think they have to. I will check into it, but I don't think that they have to provide an address, currently where they are.
Well, I know I used to work for CAO, and I would send people. And then you needed an address.
Okay. Well, I'll follow.
But if you're homeless, you don't have an address.
I understand. And then, we also partner with them. They do utilities assistance and things of those natures to be that arm in our community to help those that are without housing. So I just wanted to say that, as far as resources available in the community. But I will double check as far as what is needed on that. And if you'd like to stick around and give me your email address or something, I'll be happy to follow up with you on that.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. And again, if you know of a specific set of circumstances that we could impact, please let us know. Okay.
I will.
Thank you.
Cleanup, October 22nd through 26th. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
That's not 9 to 4:30 or 8.
9 to 5, I thought it was
9 to 4.
9
8
to
to
4.
4. 9 to 5.
9 to 5.
9 to 5. Dolly Parton. Okay. Moving on to communications, we have a letter from the SBA to the city regarding Sprintcom lease with the SBA Tower LLC. Can you make that part of the record?
Make a motion to make that part of the record. I do have a question. Is that the same tower that,
The SBA has that lease.
does that affect our lease with them?
No, they lease it to Sprint, Verizon, all those different.
So everything, this is like.
I think
Shouldn't
they're informing us that they're using it.
Well, I think what they're saying is you will not get the funds from that, what you were getting.
Yeah, we're not getting, remember we forewent all that to sell that long-term lease up front for $600,000.
So that's all. We'll make it a second. Okay, yeah. Motion to make part of the minutes.
I'll second, and John had something.
I was just saying that I included that in there to show you all, to reinforce you made the right decision, because that's going to become antiquated technology within the next few years. So you made the right decision on the sale of the tower.
By taking the money up front.
Yes.
Nice. Thanks, that's good to hear.
Thanks.
Wait, make sure you get that in the record. We did something wrong. Motion, seconded, roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Reports, there are none. Ordinances, if the clerk could please give first reading to ordinance 2439 by title only.
Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Hany.
Make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance 2439, give it second and third reading by title only, and
make note that it was favorably recommended by Finance Committee.
Nate,
Second.
roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Rules have been suspended to give ordinance 2439 second and third reading by title only. If the clerk could please give ordinance 2439 second and third reading by title only.
Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31, 2024, and declaring an emergency, second reading. Amending the permanent operating budget for the city of Ironton, state of Ohio for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024, and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Hany,
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2439.
Nate,
Second.
roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Ordinance 2439 is adopted. If the clerk could please give amended ordinance 2438 second reading by title only.
Prohibiting camping on public property and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Hany,
Make a motion to suspend the rules and give ordinance 2438 third reading by title
Perry,
Discussion.
Okay.
Ms. Carter, that's okay. Ms. Carroll, before you take off, just wanted you to know the issue that you were inquiring about with regard to homeless folks. It's been a topic of discussion here at council for the past couple of meetings, and that's what this ordinance 2438 is. Are you able to hear me? Were you able to hear me? Okay. So the issue that you had regarding offering services to homeless folks, that's something that's been a topic of discussion here at council for the past couple of meetings, and that's what this ordinance 2438, it's partially encompassing that, so I just wanted to make mention of that, but I'll also say.
any other discussion? Roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Rules have been suspended to give amended ordinance 2438 third reading by title only. If the clerk could please give amended ordinance 2438 third reading by title only.
Prohibiting camping on public property and declaring an emergency, third reading.
Hany,
Make a motion to adopt 2438.
Perry,
I'll say.
roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Amended ordinance 2438 is adopted. Moving on to resolutions. If the clerk could please give resolution 2440 reading by title only.
Resolution authorizing the mayor to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund WPCLF agreement on behalf of the city of Ironton for planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater facilities, and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan and declaring an emergency.
Nate,
I'd like to note that resolution 2440 received favorable recommendation from our finance committee. I'd like to make a motion to pass resolution 2440.
Jacob,
I'll second that.
roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Resolution 2440 is passed. Has passed. If the clerk could please give resolution 2441 reading by title.
Resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Lawrence County Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Nate,
I'd like to note that resolution 2441 received favorable recommendation by the finance committee. I'd like to make a motion to pass resolution 2441.
Perry,
I'd like to second.
did you have something? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hany.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Harry.
Resolution 2441 passes. Next is miscellaneous. Nate,
I'd like to request that the clerk send a copy of amended ordinance 2438 to Chief Johnson and to Judge Walden.
Mr. Perry.
I'll second.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to vote on that.
Can can I make one request, Mayor? I think I don't remember what the avenue was to advertise, not advertise, to communicate to the public the street sweeper schedule, but can we reconsider how we do that, or put it on Facebook, or send it
Text
a
message.
just
It used to be on the website, but I'll check.
okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
First registration date for youth rec basketball is going to be on the 19th. First floor lobby of the city building, 9 to noon. Terry, did you get an email I sent you and Mark earlier?
Yes.
Okay. Did you post it at some point tomorrow?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you very much.
And you said October 19th.
October 19th, 9 to noon, first floor city building. Also, just rehashed it this month, October 22nd through the 26th is the dump day. Check on the website for the materials that you're not allowed to dump, but that will be 22nd to the 26th, 9 to 5.
Fair.
He took off. Terry might be able to answer. If we could just get clarity once again on safe Halloween and actual trick or treat here in
That's
town.
the
22nd.
Tuesday.
Terry
yeah.
has.
The 22nd.
It's October the 28th,
October 28th for
safe trick or treat.
safe trick or treat,
5:30 to 7.
5:30 to
And
7.
regular trick or treat citywide is October 31st from 6 to 8.
October 31st, 6 to 8, regular.
Guess I'm trying to watch it.
Ready yet?
Executive session?
Yeah.
I'll second.
I'll make the motion to get an executive session to discuss real estate with solicitor, mayor, finance director, Dr. Dingus, Marty also,
Fine, either way.
and Marty Conley. No action to follow.
Second.
Haney, roll call please.
Brown.
Aye.
Haney.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Terry.
Thank you, we are adjourned.